BPod Studios.
It's half what you're used to.
True. This is absolutely true.
Half Hardy.
What had happened was...
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
It's unbelievable.
Dutcher and Hardy. Mornings, the Sports Hub.
Celtics have to get across half court, and they will dribble out the clock. Got shaky in the second quarter. Celtics surrendered a 16-point lead, but they pull away with defense in the third. They knock down 23 more threes, and they win it going away. The final score, Boston 129, Chicago 112.
Hey, we're Dutcher and Hardy. This hour of our show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Dan Roach is in for Hardy. Remember when we used to have Brand Stevens on and he would be kind of like, we'd talk about our kids playing basketball and he would be like, my kid, yeah, he's like, all right, he was like always kind of like, and I understand why, but he would always be like kind of whatever.
Yeah.
His kid's 6'4".
Yep.
He's a very rarefied air. He's the only third player in Wellesley history to score 1,000 career points, and he's walking on at Notre Dame, which means he could eventually be a scholarship player. So he's pretty good.
I remember seeing him at a travel game. His team, Wellesley, was playing Natick in a game right before my kids. Brad's kid dropped about 27 points.
Did he really?
His team scored, I think, 40. He stood out from a young age.
So I was saying, like, my son can dunk pretty much now. And there's like 3 other kids on his team that can dunk.
Yeah.
This is becoming and he goes to small school. This is becoming a little dunk fest. He's only 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
And he's not, that's not even his game, Johnny. And he can dunk.
He's a shooter?
No. He's not basketball. Is not his game.
Oh, I thought you were talking about dunking.
No, he's all flash. Yeah, his game. He's good enough to have a game. His game's all flash. Okay. The minute he gets in a night, if he's lucky, he really shows off. When the team's up or down by 20 and he
Varsity
gets in.
basketball. He's on the team.
He's on the team.
There you go.
He's on the bench, but he's on the team.
All right.
Cedric Maxwell was never on the bench. He's the Celtics color analyst. Oh, boy, I said it. Here we go. On 98.5, the Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. I let him into it, and he joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Hello, Cedric.
You did. You let me in. Did you say color? Is that what you said? You have 2 of my favorite guys up there, Roachy up there and Johnny Wallach. Man, what a show.
Hi, Max.
Good stuff.
How we doing?
Hey there, buddy. Good. I love L.A.
What does that mean?
We were up on the rooftop at our CBS affiliate out in L.A. during the NBA Finals, and it was beautiful outside, and Max just comes in and he's singing, I love L.A.
All right. So the 2 of you are very close.
Max has been good to me over the years, yes.
Yeah, you will shine some light on that. Give him some respect.
Oh, when he goes shopping for suits, he always buys me one and things like that. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Roachy, don't give him ammo. Please don't.
Exactly. Yep.
I was going to say, he's shopping with you.
Then the next thing we're gonna be going to, Filene's basement or something and reopening the place and getting lingerie together. Sure. Okay.
Wow. You guys have bought lingerie for each other.
Here we go,
Max. Wow.
My goodness. All right, Cedric, how is Chicago? What is the plan for today?
We are the team is staying over, and we're leaving here at about 1 o'clock to go to New York City.
Okay.
After a successful night, it's getting really real now. I talked to Maurice Cheeks, Hall of Famer with Philadelphia 76ers, who is now a assistant coach with Chicago Bulls. We're walking out together. He said, "You guys are tough." He said, "You guys are good." He said, I don't see other teams beating you. So it's starting to be more real to me looking at this team and watching the way they play. And even last night, watching how they, kind of came out and got a 17-point lead. The other team got back in the game. But this Celtic team is able to turn it on defensively. And they walked away from that game easily yesterday.
The defense is much better, Max, this year than last year. And to me, that would seemingly put them over the top. That's the difference maker between this year and last year.
Well, both. I think defense and offense are much better. If you look at Porzingis, he's giving you the kind of same things that Rob Williams was giving you on the defensive end, not blocking as many shots, but he's making guys change their shots going towards the basket. And offensively, this is a different team. You have the luxury this year of having Porzingis as your third fiddle. That's tremendous. When Brown and Tatum are on their game, and then you add those other two guys, your guards. This is really fun stuff to watch.
Max, we talk about Derek White and just how he seemingly gets better and better each season, each game. Last night they were saying that he had 125 threes, 50 steals, 50 blocks. How does he have the ability to block so many shots from as a basketball guy and what you've seen over your career? How does this guy have the ability to do what he's doing on the defensive end and blocking so many shots?
Well, I think it's more instinctive. With guys like that, he's not the highest jumper in the world, but it's instinct. When a guy's about to go in the air, he understands positioning. He puts himself in a good position, and his hands are cat quick. So with that, he put that together in his tenacity. And remember, he played under Greg Popovich. So to play under Greg Popovich at the time, you had to defend the basketball. And you look at the counterpart of him, look at his other guy in Drew Holiday. And those two guys, man, they would be a stock exchange because when you play against them, your stock is going down, man, because they're that good.
I was watching Jason Tatum last night, and he just kind of was waiting. He was waiting until he was needed and then started scoring points in the third quarter. A lot of the stuff coming out of the All-Star break is where you see Jason Tatum in the grand scheme of things in the NBA. He told Malika Andrews of ESPN that he thinks he Malika Andrews of ESPN that he thinks he could possibly
right, Cedric? Not cool.
Yes. You got it. You didn't let him get away with it. Okay, I got it.
Fred Toucher, right again.
Thank you, Cedric.
No, well done, both of you. Is Jason Tatum good enough to be the face of this league?
Well, here's what people, I don't know why they misunderstood that, but if you're a great player in this league, then who else are you going to say is better than me? And if he's a guy who's almost MVP-like, and he's a guy that, the Celtics hope he is, and we know he is, then yeah, he can be the face of this franchise in this league. The thing that I am starting to like more and more about him is that he's letting the game come to him. There was a time early in his career, if he didn't get a shot in the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of a game, he was just going to get the ball and hoist it up. Now he understands that, like Michael Jordan and the great players that we've seen over the years, not to say he's Michael Jordan, but the great players over the years, let other guys get involved early. And that makes their job a lot easier late in the basketball game because you can't double team off those guys because they've been so effective. So that's what I'm starting to like more and more about this game. And I'm starting to see more of a scowl on his face. And I like that. Only thing that would really bother me was your guy Scal yesterday came in. I said, damn. Brian Scalabrine yesterday, I guess he went to Mexico or something for the All-Star break. Yeah. That dude's darker than me. I was like, damn, man, what the hell is going on here?
It's got to be fake.
It was weird. Look at him on TV last night.
It's got to be fake. I mean, there's
that's
man.
Bozo. That's Bozo, brother. Bozo the clown. I was like, damn, did he put red makeup on? But he said he sat in the sun for hours. But he told me in 3 days, he's going to be back to being white again. So I said, okay, I got you.
But, yeah, it's all going to peel off. It's going to be disgusting. Yep. You can't have that. Yeah. My goodness. By the way, Derek White, is there anyone who's benefited more from shaving their head than Derek White? I mean, it's a whole new world for him visually.
You're saying he's handsome?
Better than he was?
I have a friend of mine who is a barber who applauded when Derek White got his hair. He was like, damn, it's about time.
Thank you.
I talked to him about it, and it's really funny because he said his child was just kind of, when he saw him the first time, he's like, who are you and what did you do with that guy who had the fluffy stuff on his head? So, yeah, I think it does look a lot better. And men have to understand that sometimes there's a time in your life where you have to let it go. And God bless the fact that he did let it go. I think it looks much better.
Thank you for saying that, Cedric, because when I first started stating that, I got a little pushback from people. And I said, what, are you blind? Derek White looked like a circus freak, and now he shaved his head. He looks like one of us. He looks like he's walking among us.
He does look like that. And it's really weird though. I thought it was really funny when I saw him when he had the thing on his head, and I was like, and he took the headband off. That's what got me. He took the headband off. I'm like, what is going on there?
Yeah,
and then once he shaved that, it was like, yeah, he kind of looks like one of us right now.
Yeah, when he had the headband on, it was covering skin, hairless skin. Yeah, he had like a receding hairline. It was horrible. Thank you, Cedric.
It is true. I give you that. I think there is a point where all men, especially some of us men of color, you start to get thin and you try to hold on, and who's the guy? Wait a minute, who was the guy, the football player, not the football player, but the announcer? And every time I see him, I'm like, when is he going to cut that hair? It's going so far back in this, and now he has it colored in, and he does the NFL. I'm not sure.
Well, Joe Buck lost his voice.
Black
guy with a receding hairline.
James Brown.
Yeah.
Like,
good old CBS.
I'm like, James, you got to let it go at one point, bro. You got strands back there. Only LeBron James has been able to successfully win the hair battle, and I'm not sure how the hell he's doing. Maybe he's in Hollywood, and, they just painting it up there. Like, okay, bring me another brush here. Okay, we got you.
That's awesome. He's got to have makeup, people. There's no question about it.
Hey, right. Can I ask Max one final question, Fred?
Yeah, sure. The clocks is no issue to you. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is the second time today. Just talk.
Max.
When you demand to talk.
One of the beauties of
maniac.
One of the beauties of sports, Fred, is that when you're together for a long time, you can see things, different things about this team. What have you seen from this team from day one to where they are now? Because when we watch them from afar, you see them play in Chicago, there seems to be a lot of smiles, a lot of confidence in each other. What has this team different than any teams even last year before that we've seen with Brown, Tatum, and company?
Yeah, I think it is. I think when you look at that cop movie right now that's going on there, or that nickname that Brown and Porzingis have, they call themselves, what is it, some kind of cookies and cream.
Yes.
I was like, and I said, isn't Ben and Jerry's going to have a problem with that? Aren't they going to talk about that? But those two guys and have made a huge difference in watching Brown grow and watching. And here, let's give credit really to Joe Mazzulla. Nobody wants to give him credit, but Joe Mazzulla has a tough job in the fact that he has to orchestrate all this and then deal with the media like us and everybody else about shooting threes and his philosophy. He seems to be happier. So everybody seems to be on a great page. Sean Grande has made this one point. He said over and over again, the Celtics have won more games in the last 3 years than anybody over the last, 10 years or something. I said, Sean, it doesn't matter unless they win a banner. Unless they pull up a banner, that's the only thing that people are going to care about. The 17-0 Patriots, everybody said the greatest team ever to play the game. When they lost that game, no longer the greatest team to ever play the game. It was an asterisk. So this team has to win a championship to get to that next level.
All right.
One more. Come on, Freddie. Come on, it's Friday. We're almost home, right?
We're almost home.
All
right. Cedric Maxwell, safe travels, my friend. Enjoy New York City.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good time.
Love you, Max.
There you go.
See you, Max.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Well, you just throw that love around like there's no tomorrow.
Love you, Freddie.
I know you say it all the time, but
say
now
it to you. Those
you know
guys
why? As you get
never say
older,
it to
Freddie,
me.
you just realize there's nothing. Just don't hold back.
Especially when it becomes meaningless.
I don't know. He told you he loved you. He never said that to me.
Love you, Johnny.
No, it's too
he
late.
doesn't
now.
mean
Yeah,
No.
didn't feel the same.
No.
I'll tell you, I got this pro football thing up, Pro Football Reference draft stuff off, and I'm in another world now. You know, Slater. Did you know he was a defensive back in college?
I thought he was a wide receiver.
No, he had no receptions.
Oh man.
In college, according to what I'm looking at, he had no receptions in his entire college career.
Genius draft pick, 5th-round draft pick.
Well, he was a genius draft pick.
Genius draft pick.
He was a kick returner his senior year.
Bill's playing chess. He played chess that day.
But he was listed as a receiver his sophomore year, and then a defensive back. He played 13 games his junior and senior year at defensive back, listed, and he had a lot of kick return yards his senior year.
Any tackles? Any interceptions?
Yes, he had 5 tackles, but he was a defensive back. But he had 3 tackles his junior year, 5 tackles. 6 tackles his junior year, 20 tackles his senior year. No interceptions, no fumble recoveries.
Okay.
But I'm getting lost down this rabbit hole. A lot of bad picks in the draft. It's not just the Patriots. I'm looking at drafts as a whole. But if you wonder what I'm doing when Roach is not paying attention to the clock, this is what I'm up to now.
You're the one who just kept rambling.
Yeah,
we could have taken a break by now.
I was probably pretty involved in that.
Yeah, sorry, Dan O'Brien.
Sorry I didn't give you guys any room. All right, we'll be back with the big email segment.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Lainey Wilson is on a roll. She's delivering great music and teaming up with some of country's hottest acts. Text Lainey to 45911 to see which 4 Lainey Wilson collabs have us talking at BackstageCountry.com. Text Lainey to 45911 to get a link to the list sent right to your phone from BackstageCountry.com.
Team. It's called Rising and Grinding.
Start your
Got
day.
your finger on the pulse, Fred.
Begin your
Seldom
day
right and never wrong.
right here. Is that Dutcher or is that Hardy?
Kinda looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
We're lucky it's not the gossip bit, because I just got failed. I thought people were hiding gossip, and then it just turned out to be a bunch of shenanigans.
Oh. That's not going to stop them from calling it gossip and spreading it like wild.
I mean, it was just nonsense. It was not.
That was
good.
pretty nonsense.
It was nonsensical. All right. It is the email segment. John was saying he had some emails. Go ahead.
Okay. This one we got, the two of us got. It says, and it's from, I want to make sure we get this right because everyone's so needed. We need to know who sent the emails. This is from Sam. Freddie T. and the Wallbird. I worked for my mom for...
It's not from Sam. It's from a guy named John.
Sorry,
Go
John.
ahead.
Sam is the one next to
Holy
it.
holy
sorry,
moly.
John, last name starts with an M. I'm very sorry. I misrepresented you. Freddie T. and the Wallbird. I worked for my mom at her antique shop back in my teens. People did all kinds of nasty stuff there. But one time I caught a good customer peeing in the teacups. He never came back again. So on to my question for Rochi. If you were to pee in something at an antique shop, what would it be?
An old tobacco spit juice can, maybe?
A spittoon.
New at 10, a man is seen placing store items underneath his kilt and then putting them back on the shelf.
Yeah, that was at an antique shop. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling if you're going antiquing that you're a very particular kind of person. You're either a very old lady looking for nostalgic items or there's something bringing you to that store. Which is odd because I believe this evening I'm dining with someone who might be in the antique business.
Oh. Maybe bring this story up.
Well, of course I'd bring the story up, but then I don't. It's not an easy story without the backing of the actual Houston News talking about it. That's easy to understand. Because in the news story isn't even really right because it's presented like he's this old like Scottish guy in a kilt, and that's not it at all.
Right. You might. Right.
He's wearing what could be described as a leather item, and he's obviously a leather guy. And from what I can tell, I'll tell you, Dan's really into it. He's been watching it over and over again. Dan has a million theories on what's going on there.
The man is seen from 3 different angles, placing antiques where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, in the back. He was placing them in himself.
He was scratching his back, according to Dan.
I can't believe they ran that news story. Like, what? That's not a news story. That's
no, but the news.
BS.
But the news.
The WBZ would never run that. I guarantee you, Fred.
Really?
Yes.
It's not even a crime.
It's just weird.
Because I theorized to Ryan, who found the story. I'm like, that can't be there's no way they can like put the guy in jail because there's no definitive proof that he did anything to the items. Like the video they have is just surveillance footage of him picking something up, and like screwing around. You can't see what he, right. And so like, what would he got busted for criminal mischief, which is a misdemeanor.
It's a slap on the wrist. It's a whatever. Pay the $200 fine.
I'm not sure he would be against a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, what else do we have for email?
I think he would just get a little excited. I'm sorry. Jesus.
Sorry, Dan. We'll move on.
Jesus Christmas.
I'm sorry. I'll quickly move on. This email is from Sam.
Some people do not like when I make Dan uncomfortable, which is why I would encourage people to look at the video that Nick made. That's up on the
see the beads of sweat coming down
at Toucher and Rich Instagram account. You can see Dan is thoroughly enjoying himself.
Yeah. Let's go to break.
Yeah, but he's got a big old grin on his face because
I'm hiding the pain.
No, you've got a warm feeling in your cockles. You love it. You love it. You're like, finally, the heat's off me and on this guy.
Yeah.
Because there's footage of. I wish there was a camera crew following Dan around.
You don't want that.
He's in a quote unquote walking club in the mornings. But we all know what that's a cover for.
Walk through the graveyard every day, too.
You do?
Cemetery, yeah.
Really?
Got a space picked out? I mean, why do you walk?
Do you own a cemetery plot?
No.
Yeah, that's weird, huh, when people do that? I always think that's kind of weird. Do your parents own cemetery plots?
They do not.
I don't think mine do either.
Nope.
No. I mean, there's one from my mom since... my dad passed away and my brother.
Right.
But there's one for my mom. But that's the only time.
No. I understand that.
My grandfather was cremated, so I mean, it's.
Well, I told you my grandmother sat in my dad's closet.
Yes,
not the dead body, but the ashes.
No, I know.
No, because the best thing you can do, I guess it depends on what you. It's really a person. I would think it's a definition of a personal choice. But if you wanted to make things easy on everyone, the best thing to do is get cremated because then you can keep the but you can keep the ashes until everyone can get together.
Yes,
like there's a fine unless you're sitting Shiva. Have you ever been to a Shiva?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Dan, you got to expand your friend group.
I know. Sorry,
you're excluding so many people. You've never said Shiva.
Dan only walks with Catholics.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Dan doesn't. No Jewish people allowed in your walking club, huh?
There is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, good.
You know.
Did he pass the test? Pass the test.
It's just like we have a survey.
Wow. You have the token. Good for you.
All right. Very good. All right.
No.
John, how dare you?
Yes. We have one. I have one. This one's from Sam. Friend's aunt was dog sitting her son's 2 Great Danes and was mauled to death. It happens. P.S. Stop crapping on my windshield.
All right, that is in reference to John being a bird. And if you don't know, my mother informed me on the phone that the other day that 2 years ago, a lady that lives in her village, there's 6,000 homes in the village, and it's not necessarily a retirement village, but she just informed me that a woman's dog, now the difference in that story is there's A, 2 dogs, and B, they weren't her dogs. But according to my mother says that there was a woman whose husband's dog, she put it as her husband's dog. She's 81. Her husband, about 82 now. So her husband's dog apparently mauled her to death. And not like old lady style where she just fell and hit her head. Like really like bit her to death. And I got to think that almost never happens, right? Like a dog will bite you.
No.
But for them to kill you with bites?
Yeah, that's a little much.
And then my mom's like, oh, well, maybe they got her jugular. And then my mom starts pontificating. Here's my mother, and she's listening right now, I bet. So here's what my mother, for instance. I go, like, Miles is a freshman in high school. I'm like, my son, he wants to play college baseball. And she's like, oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, boy. I hope he can. Like her first instinct is like that. It's disaster.
It's like climbing Mount Everest.
Like if it doesn't happen, his life is over. Like you're just like, oh Jesus, woman. Freddie T. Recently, this is from Adam. I've gotten into watching old seasons of reality shows, and I was never into them, so it's all new to me. It's a bit weird to see how often things like the R word and mocking homosexuals were normalized on network television through vehicles like The Amazing Race. Well, I mean, a big storyline on Three's Company was that Jack had to pretend to be gay because they wouldn't let a guy live in the apartment complex with 2 women if he was heterosexual. So a big joke was John Ritter pretending to be gay. And you remember Mr. Furley's reaction.
Zoinks!
And we've all seen the Happy Days episode where the only black character on Happy Days, Sticks.
Yes.
There's a prom, and Fonzie sets up Richie, a girl that Richie's going to prom with Sticks for prom. And when Fonzie brings in Sticks to introduce him to his date promptly faints at the sight of a black date.
I don't remember that episode.
Good old days of TV.
You can YouTube it right this second.
That was like 1975, right?
No. Once they started shoving Sticks on, it was a little later in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, Happy Days was a good show for a solid 2 years, and then they brought in aliens, and I'm not comparing Sticks to that.
It went off the rails.
Once Robin Williams showed up, that was the literal jumping of the shark.
And then Fonzie started wearing a tie with his leather jacket.
Yeah, he was a teacher at the end of the show.
Yeah, and he got married. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, what? You ran out of every idea? Yeah. Like, there's an infinite number of sexual partners Fonzie could have. I recall you mentioning some outrageous moment of Rock of Love, I believe season 2, but I don't recall what it was. You might be thinking of Flavor of Love, where a Flavor Flav dating show where the woman took a number 2 on the stairs. That was in Flavor of Love. Rock of Love is just a series of wonderful Bret Michaels moments. Like when a woman goes to speak to him and it's supposed to be off the cuff, but they have all the cameras lined up, and Bret's just doing lat pull-downs at the gym at the hotel. And he's like, "What's up, darling?" And then also like that Bret just looks like he got done being had sex with every time he walks into a room. You remember Alice in the Grand Canyon on the Brady Bunch?
Yeah.
When she was driving the mule and they play doom, 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 and she starts walking because she's all bow-legged. That's how Bret Michaels walks into a room. You got anything for us, Danny? You got anything?
No.
Okay, good.
Nope.
This is
were you asking
John.
me? Oh, I thought you were asking.
Oh, sorry, Dan O'Brien.
I'll ask Dan O'Brien in 1 second. Freddie, ask Rochi how dark his dark side gets. No one is this happy and positive. Is he the Zodiac? That is Joe from Saugus. We explored that.
Joe, it's really bad.
There's no dark side to the man. All right, Dan O'Brien, what do you got?
So I got one just from Nick, and I don't know if it's the Nick that works here with
his
us.
Garbage, nonsensical.
Yep. This one
crap. Go ahead.
Just says, why the hell would we email you when we have Fred Hardy and the Bird's email address? And I said, good point. I replied and I wrote, good point. Thank you.
The Bird won't get it.
Take care.
Yep. Have a good day.
Must have been Nick.
Well, I waited to see if his dinged, like, the sound that it made when you replied to an email. I was waiting to see if Nick's email dinged about 10 seconds after I sent it.
Yeah. The Bird won't answer him. He didn't even know his own email address. No. It's JON@985thesportshub.com.
Mm-hmm.
And he loves nothing more than information about birds. Jamie, go ahead.
Hey, Wallach, you're an idiot. You just said when the aliens showed up on Happy Days, it literally jumped the shark. When on Happy Days, Fonzie literally jumped the shark.
That's correct. You're absolutely right.
That's right, Jamie.
You proved me wrong yet again. Feels good, huh?
Look at him recoiling. Jamie, look at him recoiling, how poorly he's handling it.
Mm-hmm. Can't take it.
He can't take it.
Yeah.
But you're right, Jamie. The phrase jumping the shark is literally from the episode where they ran out of things for Fonzie to jump, and he is on a lake and he jumps a shark on water skis, that was different than the rodeo one. Remember that? Well, the jumping of the fried chicken stand is the first season.
Yeah.
Oh, the trash cans outside of
of Arnold's.
Yeah,
and he slides into Arnold's fried chicken
stopped
stand.
the episode in midair.
Yes.
Yes. That's right.
So that's when Happy Days was still like a show.
What's going to happen? We got to wait a week?
But there is an episode, and I think it's still Ron Howard is on the show, where they're, for some reason, at a dude ranch. They're out west, and they have cowboy hats on, and Fonzie's jumping something.
I do remember
that actually might be the jump the shark one. For some reason, there was a lake there. But
that was in the ocean on the West Coast.
No. He jumped the shark on a lake.
It was?
No, because it would have to have been the ocean because the shark's saltwater.
The shark was in the ocean. They were out on the. That was when Fonzie was going to be an actor,
which is not the Malachi Crunch episode where Fonzie.
Oh, that was Demolition Derby.
It was Demolition Derby.
That was Leather Tuscadero, right?
Maybe that was when they all had cowboy hats on.
No, I remember the end of that cowboy episode where Mrs. Cunningham looks and says, "See you later, Sidewinder," or something like that, and there's a big round of applause. That's all I remember.
And it goes, bop, ba da da, bop, bop, ba da, bop, scoop, boop,
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, why did... I think Ron Howard was in the one with the cowboy. Happy Days got really
is the one
screwed
with
up.
The cowboy hat where they wandered onto this farm and these two women took. They
were from the moon.
No.
They all had sunglasses.
I remember this. The two farmers' daughters wanted both Richie Cunningham and Arthur Fonzarelli,
okay.
and they're like, "We're dating Laverne and Shirley. We can't be with you two."
Right.
That was the excuse.
It's the Cunningham and their friends go west to help run Marion's injured Uncle Ben's Colorado Dude Ranch.
Oh, my
Soon
God.
finding that they only have 5 days to pay the balance on a loan owed to nasty neighbor H.R. Buchanan to save it from foreclosure.
There's three networks. You had the option of 3 shows, and this is the diarrhea they would throw
This
up there.
was
Westward
ABC.
Ho.
Oh, they had. It's a 2-parter. They had one location.
No, this is ABC, like Tuesday nights at 8. Get ready. This is what it was.
I mean, that is garbage.
Yeah.
They really made Happy Days a really bad show. There's an infinite amount of storylines. It's just there's no parameters on the thing. Like Fonzie already was kind of magic in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like you had to put him out west.
Yeah. Who was the next door neighbor that would show up out of nowhere? Jenny.
Piccolo.
There you go.
Well, he married Jenny Piccolo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ron Howard, Richie married Jenny Piccolo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they came back. Jenny Piccolo stayed on the show. Jenny Piccolo, after Ron Howard left, Jenny Piccolo stayed on the show because Ron Howard's character Richie went to Nam. Remember? And on the last episode where
I remember him being back.
Joni
for the
and
last
Chachi
episode.
get married, he comes back from Nam.
Okay.
He was a photographer.
Okay.
Now, there's people from WRR walking around going like, now you're talking.
Yeah,
Because
this is our side of the street.
Everyone's sitting, I don't even know the term for it, cross-legged out in front of the windows. Just like you run, you can't run, you know what's anymore.
Why
in
didn't we
basketball.
think about using this in between songs? My God.
Yeah. All right. We're running late, but it's Friday and it was a vacation week. I want to hear this for my own edification. Steve, go ahead. Steven.
Hey, Freddie. Listen, there's a website. I'm an attorney. I do dog bites, and there's a website that lists all of the fatalities in the United States. On March 30th of 2022, a woman was attacked by her husband's Dutch Shepherd and was killed in Tennessee, Tellico Village.
Wow.
Uh-oh, we have proof.
Lynn Tutcher for the win. Thank you, Steve. That is great.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. It's somewhere my mother...
Costanza moment.
If she's... Serenity now. If my mom's listening... She probably didn't even understand what just happened. Right. So, let's be honest.
Sorry, Mom.
Like, that's how big a win can it be for a lady who's barely paying attention?
A lot of death.
Well, it is an elderly community. There is a lot of death.
Kind of goes along with it.
There is quite a bit of death,
Yeah,
actually.
that's true.
You'd be surprised.
Not if you're part of a walking club, though, Fred.
Yeah.
You're going to live forever.
Yeah.
That guy was good.
Yeah, he was. I'm glad he looked it up. Thank you.
You think he was a personal injury attorney? Yeah. He has a website that lists all the deaths in the U.S. Like,
he said there is a website.
Oh, there's
a database. I don't think he runs it.
No, but he accesses it.
Yeah, he can access it. Yeah, I'm sure he would access it.
Good
to
times.
Find clients.
Dog deaths. Let me see.
I'm sure it's not that difficult to litigate. All right. Well, thank you. That's when the listeners are more than just pains. They actually come through.
Very cool.
Yeah, there you go. All right, here are the headlines.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Wondering who made our list of the top 5 all-time queens of country music? Did Carrie Underwood make the cut? Find out now when you text Queens to 45911 and scroll through the list on BackstageCountry.com. Text Queens to 45911 to see the talented artists who rounded out our top 5 list.
Zolak and Bertrand get you through the workday at 10. Right now, it's Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
All right, the week is winding down. And then I'll be here. We'll all be here next week. And then the schedule just came out for the following week. And that week, is I won't be here. I'm going to the Bahamas with my son. And you'll be with Michael Holly the Friday.
Oh, nice.
So 2 weeks from today will be Hardy and Holly.
Cool.
In Wallach.
I haven't worked with Michael in a long time.
It's going to bring people back to that golden age of WEEI.
That's right, that midday show. Couldn't be beaten.
It was so good.
Oh, weekdays with Uncle Dale.
The best is when Dale Arnold had on. It was the only time I ever listened to. It might have been the only time I ever heard the show. I remember we had just gotten a treadmill delivered to our house in Brighton, and so I put on the radio, and they had Ray Allen on, and Dale Arnold goes to him. He's like, Ray, it's interesting. You read books. Okay.
As if all athletes. Nobody reads them.
I mean, that's
and
one
he's
way
like
to,
an odd.
That's one way to interpret
some
things.
Odd species. No, I know where you were going with that. I chose not to follow you.
I just thought it was an odd question. Like, dude, I went to Connecticut. I'm aware of literature.
Wasn't going there, but
it exists. All right. So, do you remember this?
I need a little backstory. How about this? My name's Chad Powers. I'm a substitute teacher and part-time carpenter, and I get to walk on and try out for my favorite team. Hello, I'm Chad Powers. Hey, Chad Powers. So, Chad Powers.
Now, if you don't remember, you're not alone. That is a comedy skit in quotations that Eli Manning, one of the Manning brothers that has no charisma. Now, Payne can carry a comedy sketch. I will take anyone to the very basic premise of Peyton Manning coaching the kids team in New York City, which is like an easy premise, but Peyton Manning sells the hell out of the thing. It's an extremely funny skit. He's like an evil coach, like pushing the kids too much. He locks one of the kids in a porta potty. He actually does a great job. Eli Manning, on the other hand, not good. And if you don't recall, Glenn, this is Chad Powers, which is a skit where Eli Manning puts on a prosthetic nose and wig and goes to a football team and repeats that he's Chad Powers 80,000 times.
He's trying to walk on a Penn State or whatever it is.
It doesn't. It could be anything.
Okay.
It wasn't funny in any way, shape, or form.
No, this is putting
He's an
it in
undercover
my own head
boss.
No,
that
I
I've
understand.
read.
I understand.
It's like the CBS show Undercover Boss.
Except for without the inevitable crying for no reason.
Yes.
The guy who stuffs the boxes isn't overly happy. Hulu's Chad Powers. Hulu has greenlit a show starring an actor who was in Mrs. Doubtfire, but I don't know if he was a kid and missed the movie Mrs. Doubtfire, or there was a reimagining of Mrs. Doubtfire that I missed. But that Chad Powers skit has been greenlit for an entire season of network television on Hulu. So much like the Cavemen Geico commercial featuring the very funny Nick Kroll was at one time greenlit as a pilot and aired on one of the major networks. If you recall the show Cavemen, ABC ran the show Cavemen.
Yes, I do remember that.
This Chad Powers show, which will turn out to be the funniest thing of all time.
No, it won't. I wouldn't worry about it.
Someone saw that and said that it is going to be a show, and they used the example of Ted Lasso starting as an NBC Sports promo on the basic premise that it'd be funny to see Jason Sudeikis play a Southern football coach who didn't know enough.
Jason Sudeikis is a professional comedian who can act.
Well,
Eli Manning's neither of those two things.
Well, let's be honest. Ted Lasso was a hit because it was a feel-good comedy during the time of COVID. If Ted Lasso was to premiere today, it would not nearly be what it was. Much like The Last Dance.
Timing was on, but it was still great. It was a great show.
Yes, but Dan, it was made for you.
Okay, good.
Like you understand
So
that
I was
show
happy
was
with
made, but if God himself were to create a show, it would for Dan Roach it would be Ted Lasso. It would revolve around sports and it would make you feel good.
It did.
And the Roach type character would be the hero.
But it made a lot of people happy, not just me.
It really solved everything, if you think about it. I mean, COVID would have been really bad if it wasn't for Ted Lasso.
I have a tweet here that is challenging your Happy Days knowledge.
Well, I don't doubt my knowledge can be challenged.
Okay. Apparently, Richie did not marry Jenny Piccolo. He married Lori Beth, which rings true to me. Jenny Piccolo is Joni's best friend.
My bad. Okay, you're right. And I never claimed to be an expert of Happy Days. Happy Days aired when I was just born. So I was experiencing that in syndication.
It was such a big night.
Yeah, see, that's a little before my time. But
Happy
you got
Days,
that
Laverne
night.
and Shirley?
That was Friday night.
Yes.
That was Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and then Chico and the Man before, the...
Oh, yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Before he blew
Freddie
his
Prinze
brains out.
Sr., sorry.
Oh, yeah, Freddie Prinze Sr.
Yeah.
Blew his brains out.
Who is the man in that movie, in that show?
Well, I don't know. It was not Chico, though, certainly.
No.
Because he was the man.
Who owned the garage where Chico
There's no way he's living, because he was old in 1975.
Jack Albertson is the name of the actor.
With the mustache.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the one with the mustache, unlike Freddie Prinze Sr.
He was in the original Willy Wonka, Jack Albertson.
Burp, Charlie, burp.
He was one of the two main characters that both had mustaches. That was a good way to differentiate the two of them. By the way, where else today are you going to get Chico and the Man humor?
That's a good point. That's why we're so highly rated.
I mean, this is really hitting the sweet spot.
We bring them all in, all listeners, all ages. So now we've just totally pinned down the 75 and older people.
I've never seen an episode of Chico and the Man.
That's my crowd.
And the only reason I'm aware of it, well, we have seen that in its place. And you, how old do you think you were when we broadcast from Foxwoods?
Oof. That's right. The three of us. It's good. Now's the good time to have that conversation. The three of us were there.
Let's say it was 10 years ago. How old were you 10 years ago? Can you say, or are you one of these people who can't say because you're on TV?
No, I can say whatever I want. It's like 48, 47.
Okay. So you were younger than me,
Yes.
than I am now.
Yeah.
When we were at Foxwoods. Ooh, hachi machi.
And he
it's the
had
gray hair, Fred.
I know. And,
oxygen tank, wheelchair-bound women.
And you say, no, he didn't. No, he did.
No, it was Pied Piper-esque.
And there was more than one of them.
Oh, yeah.
On at least two different occasions, women at 5 a.m. in a casino, in Little Rascals, motorized wheelchairs, like, they were in it because they were old, not because anything bad happened.
Mm-hmm.
They were wheeling up to them in at least, more than one, at least two. I don't want to exaggerate. Came up to him and said how much they loved him. No one could have cared less about John and I. And you were only 47 or 48 at the time. Life comes at you fast.
You
Got to
be ready.
Saying? Danny Roach, the Silver Fox at 47.
What is that? What is
That's just funny.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, seriously. I always just assumed that you were very old. But you're only a man of 57?
Yeah, around there.
How old are you?
I'm not saying.
All right, fair enough.
You brought it up.
Yep, I did.
Yeah, the idea of not.
It's
giving
weird.
out your
I
age.
can't. I mean, far be it for me to
TV people.
Far for me to bring something up. It's the host of the show. No.
That's what we do.
It's not good.
That's what Fred does.
Yeah.
Whenever I start bringing stuff up, I know we're in big trouble. That's probably time to end.
Don't want to relate to the listener.
No. You got to just keep everything in a tight little bubble.
Yep.
Danny, it's great to see you, even though you're still closed off. It's awesome to see you.
Good to see you, fellas.
Thank you, Daniel, for your time.
Thank
you,
you,
Dan Roach, for your time. We appreciate it.
Had a good time. Always.
I'm glad that you did. And we will be back on Monday. Hardy should be back, unless he catches COVID.
Oh,
I don't want that.
You can see me Sunday night, 11:35, our late night sports talk show on WBZ. Have you been that, Freddie?
What's that called?
Sports Final.
Sports Final, 11:35 on WBZ television.
Yes, sir.
The moneymaker, audio and visual. He's available. He's on it's not dying media like this. Everyone enjoy your weekends. Even though the station is thriving, you have to admit that. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.